Hello, everyone. This is our long-awaited DIY jumping spider enclosure video. We've got a lot of stuff in store for you. This may be kind of a more casual video than you're used to, especially if you're watching this on YouTube. So here's the deal is I have a ton of spiders that I need to rehouse. So I myself am going to be working on spider enclosures. And you guys, of course, are invited to join me. I'll be trying to keep an eye on the comments. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'll kind of explain my process and get you guys some basics so you can make your awesome special DIY enclosures. We also have a special guest in store today that's also going to show some cool ideas. I have shared some links on the event page for this. I will try at some point to get those in comment sections on the video. So I first started keeping tarantulas, and arboreal tarantula slings and jumping spiders have very similar housing needs. So I started watching YouTube videos on that. And here we are today. I've kind of fine-tuned the process, but that's definitely some cool places to start. The guy in one video showed the Hobby Lobby case. You can get a smaller version. I found this at the Dollar Tree in the bathroom section. I think it's for cotton balls or something. You can stand these up and make the little door. I found my bag of hinges. I'm very excited. I've been looking for these. These do take a while to get in from China, but they're very cheap. These days you might be able to pay a little bit more and get them a little quicker on something, say, like Amazon. But I love the little hinge doors. Definitely a must for a webbing arboreal spider. So other treasures from the Dollar Tree, these are definitely one of my favorites. I like the canisters because they're flat and you can set them on the side. And I already started a crap-a-lanch. I have like a very messy work area already. So let's, before we like delve into like making these, I want to kind of go over some of your tools of the trade real quick. A lot of this stuff you guys probably already have. So you got to have a box knife. Make sure you have a sharp blade. I'm going to go over some tips and tricks on cutting plastic with these. Of course, scissors. This is a little handheld drill I picked up at Harbor Freight for like less than $10. This is really great. They also have these bits at Harbor Freight, and let me see if I can find the larger ones. That's right, folks. These bits here are teensy tiny. I don't know if you can see them in there. If you watch my videos, I'm sure you've heard me complain about ants before, but these get like needle small. So I prefer small holes. If you don't like to drill, you can always cut out a section and like glue screen. So the smaller the holes, the more holes you're going to need in your enclosure. Airflow is very, very important. I've got my hot glue gun here. There are many adhesives. I like hot glue. It dries quickly. There's no fumes. And it's temporary because if you decide later that you want to go back in and rearrange or redecorate an enclosure, it's a lot easier to get the hot glue off than, say, super glue or something like that. That could also be very toxic to invertebrates. And this is my Sling Studio basket. It's got a bunch of fake flowers and pipe cleaners in it. If you have one of our Sling Studios, it came from this basket. And recently I got a really cool tool for cutting plastic. If you have like a wood burning pen, that would probably also work. But I got this because I'm going to start doing some foam work as well. And it works pretty nifty for cutting through like plastic totes. And it's called a hot pen knife. And basically it's just like this long tool. And then this bit here gets real hot. Go slowly and it just hot knife through butter, literally. We'll get all that through. And because it's so skinny, it's also great for making air holes. especially when you get into thicker plastic, or maybe, like I said, if you don't have a drill. So the most important things to remember in your jumping spider enclosure is ventilation. They need cross ventilation. So that means that there are air holes on this side of the container and also on this side of the container. And preferably, you know, maybe some top and or bottom to make sure that air is moving through there. You're not going to get as much mold or mildew growing in there. If you have a moldy enclosure, the chances are is you need to add more ventilation. So put more holes in it, you know, whatever you need to do, you know, on opposite sides. So we're going to start small and work our way up. We're going to cover everything from your basic deli cup up to a bio enclosure. And we're going to talk about recycling some materials. So our special guest here shortly is going to be Shauna, and she's going to talk to us. She has some really cute enclosures that she's made. And like me, we've all learned along the way about what works better and what doesn't. So a jumping spider's natural habitat, they love like crevices and holes and places to hide in. So more importantly than the square footage of the enclosure is going to be, you know, the surface area. How many things do they have to climb on and hide in and things like that? You know, I like the little fake flowers because there's lots of little folds and things like that for them to get into and make a quick little hammy. Sometimes they'll take the little flower petals and like stitch them shut and shut them on you. It's really quite adorable. You know, but that being said, as long as it's non-toxic, you know, and I always say, like, use the smell test. If it smells weird, I probably wouldn't use it in an enclosure if it smells chemically or anything like that. But as long as it doesn't smell weird, I mean, they're not going to be chewing on it or eating it or anything like that. They're just going to be like, you know, hanging out on it and maybe pooping on it on occasion. So I don't necessarily invest a lot of money in these things. A lot of times I just keep scraps from other things to make these. And that also being said, I'm a big fan of found objects. So sticks, bark, somewhere up here, I have cut back a bunch of grapevine from my house. This one still has some spider web on it. It's my recycled bag. I try and recycle my little pieces here. So if you find sticks or bark or leaves or, I don't know, cool little, I had a little gumball here I was playing with yesterday. Anything like that from outside, make sure, number one, that there's no chemicals. It's pesticide, herbicide free area. And then also you're going to want to either freeze it for 48 hours or you can bake it at like a low temperature at like 300 for 20 minutes just to kill any organisms that you may not want in your enclosure off of it. Make sure it's safe and there's no like parasites or anything weird or gross. So definitely keep an eye out for cool things like when you are collecting items for your enclosures, ask yourself, would a spider hide in that? And if the answer is yes, then put it in your pocket and take it home. They do like to hide out a lot and climb on things, anchor points, ventilation. After that, the world is your oyster. A spider can live in this cup, and I would put like a little piece of moss in here, a little piece of paper towel to help hold the humidity, give them something to drink on, and they would live very happily in this cup until I moved them to a larger area. So they really have very, very basic needs. You guys can stay as simple or get as fancy as you want with these enclosures. And I'm going to wait for Shauna to give me the thumbs up, and then I'm going to patch her in. Can she hear me? Are you there? All right. Yay. She's here. All right. Let me see. Yay, I can hear Shauna, everyone. Hooray.
Yay.
So I'm going to let Shauna talk a little bit about some of her enclosures and what she looks for as far as like decoration and setting up.
Okay. So what I have today is Starbucks cups. These things, you can get the Slurpee cups too. They're perfect because the lid won't come. Oh, did they give me the wrong size? No, there it is. So because they build their webs at the top, you can put a little piece of toll up here with some hot glue and then put some over here. And that way, when you take the top off, you won't affect their webbing. Yes, that's perfect. And obviously some cocoa fiber. This is on loan. This is a lot easier than dealing with the bricks, but it's also more expensive. So I use little flowers. Pipe cleaners are nice. They like to run around on those, but you have to be careful because if you spray them directly, they can get rusty, which I have learned in the past. And I have a little enclosure here with fake flowers, vines, hot glue, the whole, oh, and these little butterflies. These are cute. And these, you got to be careful with these though, because you could definitely lose your spider in there.
Oh yeah, they get in there. Tell you, they are not coming out of there until they want to. So,
No.
like, here's a pro tip for you. Like, if you want your spider to have complete autonomy, then by all means use those little balls because they're coming out. But if you, like, I don't know, need to ever rehome that spider, it's going to be more difficult to do so if it's something that it's kind of hard for them to get out. And Shauna, I was at the Dollar Tree earlier, and I got these little wooden pieces, and they have.
Oh my goodness!
And I got a whole bag for $1. Some of them.
Oh my what?
I like to glue them on the side as like little, like little jumping pedestals. But then
That's so
I got
cute.
thinking, like, I'm gonna get a bigger, like just a slightly bigger drill bit, and like drill little holes in them to make little.
Oh yeah.
And make like a little cute fairy thing. We had somebody comment that just had their first batch of slings hatch. So
Oh goodness.
I'm gonna give you a word of advice from me to you. This is worth every penny of $10 because I know Shauna and I have both spent many hours with needles, like poking holes in cups.
Thumbtacks.
That is for the bird. I do stacks of about 3 or 4 cups at a time with this little puppy, and I'm able to put plenty of holes in there and not give up due to exhaustion. So I'm not one at a time in it. I'm mass spidering. If you're one at a time in it, you're probably all right with a thumbtack. But this will save your hand so much. So, are you going to do vent holes in your cup, or are you just going with a screen over the hole, or what?
I was gonna do a few vent holes on the other side.
So, while you're working on that a little bit, we got a split screen here, so people can watch us. Okay. All working together here. So, if you get a container, or you know what, I also make the kids around here eat an unhealthy amount of cheesy poofs. Not gonna lie, these are great for spiders and mantises, these big ones. And if you have a trouble getting the label off, before you start peeling, like hit it up a little bit with a hair dryer and get it warm, and that label will just peel right off. There's no residue. I love it. I will never soak another jar in my life. I did have somebody ask about using a regular drill. If you can get a small enough drill bit, I bet you could. These drill bits, I think, are like maybe for jewelry or something. Like, I cannot express to you like how tiny they are. And also my hands are bad, so like I have a hard time like holding on to a big heavy drill. So I like my little girl tools. So
I've used the big drill. It works.
Yeah, if you got a small enough drill bit, just make sure nothing's going to come back out. And you can use a hot needle or a hot pen. And I will tell you this, I learned from experience, if you're going to use the hard plastic, like these or like the Hobby Lobby cases, if you use heat to put holes in the plastic or to cut the plastic where the heat is applied, it does turn white. So keep that in mind. And these Dremel bits, I have like a whole, I'm trying to be more organized, everyone. This is my bin of Dremel bits. I don't know if I have any in here. I'm still trying to like get my studio all like unpacked and organized. Yeah, no, that's a quarter. Okay, so they make a little drill bit that goes on the Dremel that looks kind of like a quarter. That's like a little blade that you can cut with. Just again, go slowly, take your time. You're not in a rush. This is a fun project. And yeah, Shauna's using netting there. That tool is super cheap at the fabric store. It's like less than $1 a yard, which is plenty. So I'm getting ready to start on this. If it's too noisy, I'll turn my mic off. So here's where I'm going to put the air holes in this. So I put it with the handle side down because they definitely spend more time at the top. So I want the roomier side up at the top. And I'm going to do 2 rows of holes along each side here. And then I'm going to do some holes in the back. And I'm going to do some holes in the lid. So that gives me 2 ways of cross ventilation. You cannot put too many air holes in an enclosure for a jumping spider. It's just, there's no such thing. It's like too much substrate for your tarantula. Am I right, Shauna?
Yes.
I'm just going to start commenting on people's enclosures, add more air holes. But, you know, in all seriousness, another breeder once told me the best advice I can give is drill as many air holes as you think you need and then double it. Because again, that air flow is very important. And like Shauna pointed out, they do like to make their webs at the top. So I don't particularly like top opening enclosures. And sometimes even in these side opening ones, they'll get in there. They like the crevices. They can't resist the crevices. All right, is that too obnoxious?
I don't think it is.
Oh, you know what?
I gotta go.
This is my itty bitty bit for doing the 2-ounce deli cups because I got a bunch of slings to rehouse. So I'm going to switch to a larger bit.
I'm gonna go track down my drill.
Oh yes, you gotta have the tools here.
I know.
Okay, until Shauna gets back, you can watch me go through my bits as I look for the appropriate sized one. So I like these containers. You may have seen them in my other videos. I like to put my my gravid moms in it, my expecting moms in it. It gives them plenty of room, to lots of places to make their web. They like the little corners. Put some flowers and stuff in here. And I keep it on the side so they'll build their nest back here. And then after the babies hatch, before they emerge, I can wrap the bottom part in pantyhose and turn this up. And it just so happens that a 16-ounce clear cup fits perfectly snugly on the top. And the babies all go upwards. So I'm able to kind of just replace the cup every few days and kind of catch the babies that way. And for those of you that have dealt with lots of baby slings or going to deal with a lot of baby slings, that is much easier than trying to fish them out of another container. So if you know that you have a gravid spider, like definitely keep that in mind when you're looking at housing. If I wasn't doing that, I probably would have stuck with the smaller bit just to make sure that no slings wandered out. Yay, and Shauna's back.
Yeah, I'm back, but I don't have a drill. So I'm going to put screen on the other side. My drill's missing.
Oh, yeah. That was something else I was saying. Like, I want to give everyone alternatives because everybody has like different stuff available to them. I've always been a crafter, so I've got a lot of tools from other projects. I bought this to drill through bones. One of the videos I posted, we're using one of those little hand drills. which isn't like electric at all. It's nice if you just need to do a few, and that's what I initially had for drilling bones, and then I got tired of that, and I upgraded to this. So baby steps. I know everybody starts somewhere, I feel like, and even if you treat yourself to an extra large iced coffee at Starbucks because you need a new spider enclosure, I feel like that's
That's a fantastic excuse.
right. Like if you need one. So like most of the ideas that we're going to be covering here today are definitely like $5 or less, depending on what kind of coffee you get. May or may not include coffee. I'm all in my cord here. I've gotten really fast at this. Because I have to do.
That's impressive.
So with the thinner plastic, I'm able to go pretty quickly. But even with these little bits, like y'all be careful because I have broken these and it's scary. And disclaimer here, I'm using this drill and I definitely should be wearing eye protection and I'm totally not. So I don't know who I would even sue. You have to be careful going around the lettering and stuff where this is going through the mold. I should be doing it up on the table, I guess. Let's see. I know I saw Shauna. She has it down on her thighs too.
Yeah.
It's
It's easier. Sorry.
So I've got holes drilled here, holes drilled here. Another pro tip when you guys go to rinse these out, like I would at least mix them with distilled water and wipe them out with a paper towel as at least the last step. Otherwise, watermarks, and nobody wants watermarks on their new spider house. I don't know. Here in Kentucky, we have really hard water. I don't know what it's like for everyone else. You probably still can't see what I'm doing. I tried, y'all. I was, Shauna bared with me yesterday while I was trying to get camera angle. Man, this bit is still really tiny. I feel like I moved to a much bigger bit and I didn't. I'm just doing a bunch of crazy random holes because I have to make so many of these. I stopped caring a long time ago, but if you still care, you can make a pattern and then just like tape it. I did like a little spider web pattern because I used to make a lot more enclosures. The Container Store has these AMAC enclosures. That's like what Big Fat Fids and a lot of the major ones. You see the 4x4x7, middle opening. I flip them upside down so the smaller parts at the bottom because, I mean, really, like your jumping spider should not be on the bottom of the enclosure. So, well, and that's a broad, you know what? That's a broad statement because there are some that do make their nest more terrestrially, like the Carneus. I was watching a video the other day where this little terrestrial jumping spider was making its little nest on the floor with leaves. It was really cute.
Oh.
So, keep in mind what kind of spider. And I do want to throw out there that we are mostly talking about like regals and onyxes and your common, your fids. We're talking about fids. The Hylas, a lot of the supplies, they need a little bit higher heat, but a lot of the same enclosure stuff applies. I do like to give my Hylas a little bit of extra hidey stuff because they are lazy webbers. Like they don't like to make hammies. Those regals are making hammies all the time. I'm going to show off some more of my Dollar Tree containers. Shauna's way ahead of me.
Sorry. This is the fun part. So.
These are what I keep my Carneus in because they are more terrestrial. And then this one I cracked. So go slow. And pro tip, I saw you using the knife earlier. So I found like, if you can slide this onto something and support it from inside while you cut, it won't crack. I cracked because I use these too. And I was cutting. Look at this. Oh, I was so mad. I was cutting and I put much pressure on it and I cracked the plastic. So worried about cracking the plastic. Definitely like put something in here that gets it from underneath while you cut. And it's a lot less likely. You did it too, huh?
Yes. With a critter keeper too.
I could deal with it if it's ugly, but this is just structurally, it's done. It's trash.
That's not working.
It's garbage. So go slow, like with the box knives. I will lots of times I'll like make, what do they call it? Where you just do some light cuttings and then just start cutting deeper and deeper. I'll do it over time instead of trying to do it all in one cut, because it's that pressure that'll crack your plastic every time. All right, tell us about your decorations, what they are, why you're placing them there, what made you choose them.
My butterflies, I just think they're pretty. These are for me, but I have one in another enclosure, and she webbed in between the wing and the side, so I could see her, and I prefer that when you can see the molt. And these are kind of soft. They were for my fairy garden that I never got around to making.
I hear that. This is the first time I've been down here doing projects in months, and it's surreal. So I have taken to using these a lot. So I will tell you, I will forever be on the look for the clearest plastic. Like, I complain a lot about milky plastic. So I found these really super clear 32 ounce cups. And I'm ordering things wholesale now anyway, because I'm breeding all these bugs. So it's got the ventilated lid. But I'll tell you what, they sell like it's a 2 or 3 pack of these. They have a screw-on lid at the Dollar Tree. The plastic's not soft like this, but I was using that before I started wholesaling these. I would just drill holes in them, which I'm about to do anyway, because this isn't enough for a jumper. For some species of mantises, it would be okay, but and I'm going to flip it upside down. So there's that. So do you find your sticks or do you buy them? And you're doing bio enclosures, right? You got cocoa fiber.
I'm not doing. I'm trying, but I'm not there yet. I find a lot. I buy a lot at the Dollar Tree. Like 90% of everything I buy comes from the Dollar Tree. And I also find sticks in the yard.
I love the Dollar Tree.
I know, it's my favorite place on earth. Right. I have a Hoya plant that I want to put in an enclosure. I have some cuttings for it. I'm researching that.
I will say, I learned the hard way not to bother to put live plants in a tarantula enclosure, because they will destroy it. The tarantulas will destroy it. They will dig it up. They will bury it. They will tear it up. They don't want your plants in their enclosure. So the jumpers, however, just sit on them and do like cute jumper stuff. So you can absolutely put plants in an enclosure, live plants, if you want to. There's pros and cons of doing it with the dirt. I'm dealing in such volume that I don't have time. Like, that's just extra work for me at that point. But if you set up bio enclosures, they do take up a little bit more extra room, but you get extra stuff like plants, and the enclosures just kind of clean themselves. I do have I have one established bio enclosures, and I'm trying to get a couple more going. So I definitely like them for the hylas and the more tropical species. So, I mean, there's pros and cons, I feel like, and if you maybe don't have a green thumb, maybe bio enclosures aren't for you. Just saying, I'm not judging, but I'm just trying to be realistic, you know. I hope this drill isn't too annoying. Everyone here is used to it by now. So I did a double ring of holes at the top, and I'm going to do a double ring of holes at the bottom. It's exciting, I know. Yeah, I think I need adult supervision. So this is exciting. So I've got some holes drilled in this cup. Shauna, I think one of the males I got from you has actually matured. So I'm going to make him, I like to make the males these 32-ounce cups because I have to be able to get them in and out of the enclosure for dates and things. He's already going to have some dates lined up. So I need to be able to get my spiders out when I need them out, you know. So I like to put them in the 32-ounce cups. Plus I can stack a lot of them on my shelf. And, you know, jumping spiders don't really need a lot of room to roam. The reason the males are roaming is to look for females. And the reason the females are roaming is to look for food. So if your spider seems roamy, it's probably just hungry. Or the other. It wants something.
Sounds like it.
You know, so that's important to remember. And for those of you that are new that don't know what cocoa fiber is, I'll take a moment here and yak about it. So cocoa fiber is made from coconut husk. It's like ground up. It's really great for retaining moisture. It's clean. It's like dirt, but cleaner is how I would describe it. So it'll help you keep the humidity and stuff. It's obviously safe for inverts and reptiles. And I just got some in. I will get them listed on the website because Shauna had mentioned the bricks. What she's talking about is the big brick, which makes like a Rubbermaid bin full of it. And most of you, if you're doing jumpers or small inverts, don't need that much. So I will start offering these cocoa fiber discs. So this cup right here is 2 of them. I just added the disc into water and then left it. And about 15 minutes later, it turns into nice soft cocoa fiber. So it's like dried and compressed and ready. Shauna's probably already done, and I haven't even plugged in my glue gun yet. I don't plug in my glue gun until I'm ready to start gluing. Otherwise, I get glue all over the place.
Oh, that's what the problem is. I'm plugging it in too early.
Well, yeah. It just starts making the puddle, you know?
Yeah.
The puddle is the worst. The worst. So I'm going to dig through my bin here. And like Shauna mentioned, we love the Dollar Tree. I go through there periodically and pick up some cute little flowers. And I use the flowers and the leaves. The spiders don't seem to care about color or anything. So I try and make like a contrasting color because I want to be able to look into the enclosure and be able to easily find the spider and move on to the next one because, again, I'm taking care of hundreds of them. And I'm already in there all day. I would say I would be in there all day. I already am. So until I get the wood drilled, one of the things I will do, let me see if I can show this in the camera, is I will take a leaf and I'll like roll it into like a little cone. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on there to kind of hold it into that cone shape because that is such, look at that. It looks like it already has a spider in it. And then I will glue that to the lid of the cup. You want to be careful not to trim it too short, but I'll trim off some of this plastic so it's not as bulky, but it also all stays together. Let me see here. I'm waiting on my hot glue gun to warm up. Ooh, it's exciting. I know. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. There's Shauna.
Hi,
Oscar.
sorry.
Okay, so we had a question here from a viewer saying, I want to know how many spiders you're currently taking care of, and was interested in following you on social media to hear about all your spooder keeping.
I only have 3 right now. I had about 120 a few months ago, so I
She's
really
downsized.
dwindled it down. Yes, I've downsized, but I have a lot of mantises now.
I know, it's
So
always something, right? And
yeah,
I will tell you, if you have all the supplies that you need to make jumping spider enclosures, you definitely have everything that you need to make mantis enclosures. Oh, I see your baby now.
yeah, he's very needy.
So, and I know Shauna has some of the
Yeah,
Exoterra Nanos. I like
yeah.
those a lot. I got those, what were they called?
The Zilla micro
Oh, yes.
habitat.
And I wanted to like those. They're just like the perfect size, tall and skinny like that. And it's so
I haven't
cheaply
had a
made.
problem. It really is, and that
It
it's put
just
together with
feels
rubber
cheap.
bands bugs me. But
Man,
I
it's
mean,
like $5 cheaper than the Nano Tall.
yeah,
Just get the Nano
yeah,
Tall.
yeah. It
And
is ridiculous.
I have a special lid coming in where it actually reduces some of the screen on top because that's what I got my Hylas female in right now. I'm hoping she lays another batch of eggs. She already laid one, and then I moved her, and she laid another batch of eggs and then ate them. I'm not sure
Oh,
why. That's never happened
oh
to my knowledge
wow.
before, but I don't think she liked being moved. But I had to. I had to move her. She was
Sorry,
displeased.
sorry, Mama.
I know. I'm like, but it's better. It's better. So she's probably going to be mad at me when I tear up her webbing on the top to put on that new lid. But I noticed she made a web at the bottom too, which is weird because I've never seen a Hylas do that.
Well, when I had the 120 Regis-lings, some of them did. Some of them preferred the bottom.
Yeah, I noticed that some of the babies did, but I'm talking about an adult female.
Oh, oh,
That's weird. No, she
that
made
is strange.
man, I ripped that thing apart looking for her, and then she had made a little web like right up underneath the front of the door.
I've done that so many times. I had one that I was for sure was gone, and then like 2 weeks later, there she was. Just
I know.
hey, feed
I have to
me.
learn not to mess with them. Man,
Yeah,
I've had them gone for weeks. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got this all glued at the top, and you can see where I made. And I'll tell you, the other male I have him in a cup like this. He loves to hang out up in this little, loopy thing here. And then I have a little flower. And then I'm going to put some pipe cleaner in here. And then before I put the spider in there, I take just like a piece of paper towel and I get it moist and kind of loosely crumple it and stick it in here. So then it turns it into like a 2-floor bachelor pad. That's what I call it. It's my bachelor pads. It's nice and clear. They get a 360 view. They can look at all the ladies in the neighborhood. Um,
oh,
and here's how I do the pipe cleaners. For those of you so interested, let me get in front of the camera. So we're going to start here. Very high tech, folks. Very high tech.
I didn't show it, but I did that too.
Yeah, just wrap it around your finger. No, I don't want to install Apple garbage. What's going on? Okay. Sorry, I lost my screen there for a minute. And then I will pull it so it's longer than it needs to be, and I can use some tension to kind of help hold it in there. And that's the tricky part on these round cups. On the square ones, it's not so bad.
There you go, bud.
Shauna, have you ever done a terrarium before?
No, I haven't. Sorry, my dogs were barking.
No problem.
No, I haven't. I had bought one, but I haven't done anything with it yet.
So this is a very simple, modern, easy to clean easy to observe, basic spider habitat. So the trick with the terrariums, and we'll talk to, I should have brought one of the dang Amco containers down, the tall square ones, because I will use aquarium gravel sometimes in the bottom of that for a few reasons. One, you can get it in just about any color you want, so it's a fun way to add some color to your enclosures if you want to do something. Sometimes I get blue rocks or white rocks or just like the natural color little stones. It adds drainage, so if you overwater, the water has somewhere to go, and it adds weight, which I feel like gives those tall, skinny enclosures, you know, a lower center of gravity. So they're like, oh, it's nice to have, you know, your enclosure weigh something. So if you're going to do like a bio enclosure, you're going to start with a layer of gravel, and then you can put like screen over it, and then your dirt and your plants and your springtails and your isopods, and you have like a whole little bio system all sitting around your spooter. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like the roly-polies and the springtails will eat the dead flies and dead plant matter. So that's pretty cool.
Much easier than pulling them out.
Yes, absolutely. I know, it's exciting. So let me show some. I had some people send me some pictures, and I can't get to all of them.
Oh, I want to see. Go on.
Okay. Let me see here. This should be the button. Share screen. Okay. Application window. Chrome tab. Okay, I'm gonna find this. Y'all.
We're with you. Move, bud. Move. Shoot. Yes. Back up, guys. Back up.
Cute. Yay. I think Shauna went after the dogs. That's fine. I have dogs too. I get it. We have lots of critters here we're taking care of. So I feel like I think I've covered just about everything I wanted to make sure that I covered. Let me get Shauna back in here. Yay, you're back.
Hi.
I'm going to get us back into the split screen. All right. I'm sure yours looks much nicer than mine.
Well,
you want to give us
a little much.
You want to show us your spider crib?
Okay. Here's my spider crib. I've got some pipe cleaner, the pretty butterflies, and this little thing that you can get at Dollar Tree, and I think they come in packs of 3 for $1, but just remember that you may never see them if you get these. And that's that. It's beautiful. Now I got to move someone in.
I know, right?
What do you think, Boo? You want a new house?
You always gotta have them at ready, because you never know when you're gonna get a new spider for real.
Yeah.
So Shauna, I want to thank you again for joining us and showing us your cute little enclosures. When I got spiders from you, I was like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. You know, I could tell that you really spent some time in there, and hopefully it will encourage people to get creative. You know, you can reuse just about now when you go to the store, you're like, I could use that as an enclosure, and that as an enclosure. Don't even take me to the Tupperware aisle.
Gosh. Dollar Tree has these little snow globes too that you can buy that you make yourself, and I made some really cute ones for the slings. I don't know where they are, but
yes, you can use everything from food service stuff to, I like plastic better than glass because it's easier to get the air holes in, and I'm not advanced enough to drill glass. That takes specialized equipment, and
also if you drop it, that's really bad.
Yeah. But they're, so if it's plastic and I can put air holes in it, I'm scoping it out. What are the pros and cons to this? Especially if it's side opening, forget about it. But, like I said, definitely check out the arboreal tarantula videos. Cause I had seen them before with the long model cars,
Mm-hmm.
But this guy used one for a football helmet. So it was like this, but bigger.
The display case. Yeah.
Yeah, the big square one. I was like, that's really cool. That's a 10 by 10 inch. Some nice digs. If you want your jumping spider to have a mansion, again, they don't need it. A lot of this, like Shauna was pointing out, is for you, the spider caretaker, to look at. What they want to know is how many flies a day they're getting. For sure. They have very few concerns outside of basic necessities. They want somewhere to hide. They want to be able to breathe, and you want to make sure you keep that humidity at the right levels. And it's hard to give people a good answer for that because Shauna lives in Florida and I live in Kentucky. So our misting schedules are not the same.
Yeah. Mine stays at 50 to 60% without misting. So
yeah, I have to work really hard to keep it up there, especially in the winter. So, and that affects it too. It depends on what the weather's like, on how often I have to mist, and it depends on how ventilated your enclosure is. Because I have some that I've just taken sections out and put screen in, and those dry out much faster than the ones where I did a row of holes at the bottom, I guess technically, and then a row of holes at the top. So I've got 2 rows of holes, plus this has got the ventilated, but I figure it doesn't matter if it's on the bottom. That doesn't count. It doesn't count. So fun. I know. And then we'll talk about mantis enclosures coming up soon, I guess.
Oh, that's my specialty.
I know, right? Again, it's all the same stuff, guys. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Get yourself back to the Dollar Tree. get you some bins. You're like, here's my enclosure bin. Got your hot glue gun, got your Dremel, got your little flowers and your little leaves and things like that. Oh yeah, one other thing I did want to point out. So whenever I do the taller enclosures and I put stuff on the bottom of them, I glue them down and then I'll put my substrate, like my dirt or my gravel or nothing. But I always glue that down. So make sure that you're, especially if it's something heavy, make sure that it's secure so it doesn't fall over and smush your spider. That would be bad.
Oh,
So the nice thing about the fake flowers and the pipe cleaners is if those fall over, they're not going to smush your spider. Pro tip. All right. You got any more pro tips for the folks?
I think you covered it all. You're
Man,
the pro.
I try, and I wouldn't say that. Like I still am learning, watching and learning. And recently in the spider groups, I've seen some people come out with some really, really cool ideas. I like those Tupperware containers, but the ones that have like the thick rim at the bottom scare me. Like I'm clumsy, so I'm always like, I don't want them to squish. But my very first jumping spider, I made the mistake of getting, a lid on top. That's exactly. Oh man, she made her nest there, and I was so terrified every time I had to like squeak it open to get water because she was right there in the crease. So lessons learned. If there's a corner in that enclosure, that's where your spider is, wedged in that corner. So always, if you're looking at like lanterns and stuff like that, like remember that they can squish pretty flat and squeeze out. So
yeah.
Is it secure? That's why I like Tupperware, airtight. And the Starbucks. I love the Starbucks ones because free coffee.
Yes.
Something for everyone. It's a gift that keeps giving.
That's right.
Oh boy. All right. Well, Shauna, again, thank you so much. I hope to bring you guys more videos. We're going to say bye to Shauna. Bye. I hope to bring you guys more videos and more information on jumping spider care, bug care, bug stuff. Again, I'm always here for your questions. I'm trying to get more information on the website. I'm trying to get the lid on this cup. There we go. There's a trick to it for sure. These, when they're new, they're very tight. I hope that this helped a lot of you. I get a lot of questions about enclosures. Really, guys, just keep it simple. That is my advice to you. Don't overthink it. Jumping spiders have very basic, simple needs, and overkill can lead to just that. So take it easy. Keep an eye on your spider and stay spooky.